Hello everyone, I'm Camlockson. Welcome to the first part of the rear-wheel drive drift build tutorial. Due to my recent poll, I found out you guys wanted to see the rear-wheel drive point drifting build first. This tutorial might work for Horizon 5 as well, because it seems like the tuning system hasn't changed that much compared to the predecessor. So I'm gonna upload this first, then later this week or next week I will cover the tandem builds. Enough talk, let's start with the tutorial / guide on rear-wheel drive point drifting builds. I'm gonna try and explain it as easy as possible for you guys. Let's go. First, you're gonna buy any car that can install drift suspension, drag tires and rear-wheel drive. First, we're gonna focus on S2 builds. Buy a car that can install drift suspension, drag tires and rear-wheel drive. Meta cars should have almost the same amount of horsepower in kilowatts as they do weight in kilograms. Example: Ford Roadster, Ford Coupe or Plymouth Atomic Punk. Best have more kilowatts than weight in kilogram. Example: BMW Isetta or Shelby Monaco King Cobra. For the engine, make sure it doesn't have a huge turbo lag like the 2JZ engine from the Mark IV Supra, and rather go with a car that has 2/3 of its power from other engine parts besides the turbo. Then we're gonna max out everything. Roll cage and brakes are optional. Upgraded brakes will make your transition a little bit slower. Front aero can counter that a little bit, but it's not very noticeable. For the tuning, go with what I do on my screen. Alignment, up it +1 or -1 on either sides with the camber and toe settings until you hit a somewhat fitting tune for your drifting style. For anti-robot springs and damping, you can keep it stock. It doesn't make a big difference in rear-wheel drive, especially on drag tires. For the differential settings, go with 75 acceleration and 0 deceleration. Go with 100 acceleration and 0 deceleration if your car isn't grippy enough for you. And then we have a little tip for S2 rear-wheel drive. Handbrake, clutch and brake can be utilized to extend your drifts on the track. Hard to explain, but it comes with skills. You will definitely learn that after a while. Some good rear-wheel drive drift cars for S2 are the Hot Wheels Loaf, I hope I said it correct, the Lotus Exige S, the Plymouth Bubbletop, the Ford Cube and the Rossion Q1. Now for rear-wheel drive A-Class. Buy a car that has drift suspension, stock or vintage tires this time, and an option to install rear-wheel drive if it's not already a rear-wheel drive car. Most of the time you're gonna do the exact same thing we did on S2, but this time we use the worst tires possible instead of drag tires due to how the PI system works. For the upgrades, only use vintage or stock tires. Stock tires are a little better compared to vintage. You will need a decent amount of power to weight ratio for it to keep the momentum. The best cars for that cars use good stock tires, have the engine in the middle or in the back, and use either a 7.2 liter V8 or the 4 liter F6 engine. Those are definitely the best to use. Front aero is good for transition speed, but looks weird, so it's up to you. I personally don't really like it. Always go with a full roll cage at maximum tire width. Rear-wheel drive A-class tip: you need to use more throttle than handbrake when drifting to keep momentum. Let's go for the tuning section. As for S2, just kinda copy my stuff. Most cars feel almost the same. Just adjust the camber and toe settings here and there until you hit your sweet spot. Play around with the camber about ±1 again. The differential should be 75 acceleration and 75 deceleration if it's on stock and vintage tires. And if you're using the rally engine, which is also kinda useful in this, you're gonna go with 100 acceleration and deceleration. Some good cars are the Hot Wheels Luff again, the Volkswagen Beetle, the Porsche 356A, the Toyota Trueno AE86 and the Ford Coupe again. There we have it, guys, an rear-wheel drive point drift car tutorial. Next week, as I said, I'm gonna cover the tandem drift car tutorial. But until then, feel free to like, comment and subscribe if you liked it. And maybe check out my socials. I often stream on Twitch. Feel free to watch me sometimes if you are interested. Until then, have a great day.